Collecting CDs have come full circle. What was once considered junk replaced by the iPods and then streaming services is now one of the fastest growing mediums that people want to collect for. Collecting CDs revived thrifting for me and has the practical use of helping me build my own music collection that I own forever. And this video will serve as the ultimate beginner's guide and reminder that it's never too late to start your own collection, with timestamps to skip around and come back to, showing you how I found and backed up my collection to a computer legally and what devices you can use to listen to your music. And I'll also explain how you can find new music to expand your collection. I was originally frustrated by the state of retro video gaming, how the prices of games have skyrocketed, and how thrifts just put the quality titles on their online auctions while the shovelware garbage rots in their stores. Streaming apps have also become less consumer friendly, raising subscription costs and stripping features you once paid for. For the longest time, Spotify was $10 a month, and instead of paying $120 a year, I can invest that money towards building a physical CD collection that I own forever. Thrifts price CDs cheap, with the occasional album being individually priced, as the workers do use Google, and certain locations choose to filter good albums to their glass cases, which just tells me that their CD selection is going to be garbage. But check what they have regardless, as one employee's judgment and music taste will differ from another employee stocking the store, and gems are always waiting to be found. For CDs that I'm unsure about picking up, I'll listen to them with my phone to get an idea of the album before buying it. One trip I found dozens of rave CDs that look cool, and listening to them in stores sold me on getting more than I originally anticipated. And another time I found these 3 random albums that I would have left behind if I never listened to them on YouTube. The one thing that does suck is the process of thrifting CDs. The spines can be hard to read when the employees stick price tags over them, and it can be annoying to look at a wall of unorganized CDs. But it's super rewarding if you take your time, as one solid find can usually lead to others. And make sure to check the discs, as sometimes the CD will be missing, scratched up, or have the incorrect one. You can also find great deals on CDs from local music shops, and see if they have what you couldn't find while looking at the thrift stores. Prices roughly reflect the used market, and most used CDs are cheap around $10, with the occasional stuff holding value like hip-hop rap albums. I couldn't find these Pendulum albums in my area, so I was able to source them on eBay for under $10 each. And if you're afraid of resellers ruining secondhand CDs, there's little money to be made after fees, so they usually ignore this. If you don't want to collect physical CDs, you can buy albums digitally from sites like Bandcamp, which directly supports artists, and Steam even sells video game soundtracks that are easy to download and extract to your collection. Music is also subject to licensing issues and abandonware, so I recommend that you check websites like Internet Archive to help you with your obscure music tastes. I've used Internet Archive for a ton of abandoned content, and I know a ton of you love this song that I use in my shorts called Mr. Lucky by Carl Jenkins, which I originally heard from a long abandoned indie game called Garbage Day, but the original song was featured in a 70s supermarket cassette tape that obviously isn't available today. Once you find some CDs, the backing up process is really easy. It requires a CD ripper and a hard drive. I use Windows Media Player, as it's built into all Windows PCs, even up to Windows 11, and anybody can use it. You put your CD into the drive, find the CD on Windows Media Player, and hit Rip CD, and from that point it begins to copy the contents to your hard drive. If a CD is missing its artwork, which does happen occasionally, you can drag a JPEG that you found on Google to populate the album art. And Windows Media Player still supports the long abandoned skins, which you can find on this archive website that I'll link in the description. I recommend that you invest in a good disc reader, as this cheap Amazon one randomly stopped working one day, and I was able to find a good Samsung one at the thrift for $2, and that's just an insane find. There's tons of good music programs to download and use, but an alternative that I want to mention is the iconic Winamp program. It's free, and there's an insane amount of community made skins that I'll also link in the description below. Winamp includes a built-in equalizer, and some versions can even rip your CDs, but Winamp can be confusing for a beginner, but rewarding if you're looking for an interface that you can customize. Other programs that are worth downloading are MP3 Tag and EAC, which can help with CD information that had shitty information. I think it's also easy to get caught up in getting accessories for your collection. My advice for you is to get stuff that you know that you're gonna enjoy. I have this funny little Tykes boombox that fits my nostalgia brand, but it just sits there most of the time unused, and dedicated CD racks also seem like a great idea at first until you max it out, and then you're looking for a new solution that fits your current collection. They aren't expensive if you do end up getting one at the thrift, but get comfortable with the idea of stacking your CDs on a table somewhere. There will be a few CDs that don't come in cases, like these Nickelodeon cereal CDs that I have, and this Neopets case holds the few random CDs in my collection. So how can you find new music? You can still use your streaming apps to discover new songs, but most these days I'm at my computer, so I listen to music on YouTube. A way collecting CDs helped me find music was from listening to CDs front to back, especially if it's considered a one-hit wonder band. Spotify used to influence my decisions when enjoying music, because I'd look at the music streams to see how good a song was. You obviously don't see that with physical CDs, so you get a blank mindset going into an album. Another way that you can discover new music is from consuming content on social media. If a song is from a shorts video, you typically can see the name of the song at the bottom, giving you a label for the original audio, and YouTubers typically put songs that they use in their descriptions. I've also found a ton of new songs from playing games like Clone Hero, which lets you enjoy your favorite songs through satisfying gameplay. There's thousands of songs that you can download made by the community, even songs from past Guitar Hero Hero titles. I found over 100 new songs for playing Clone Hero. Companies like Crack seemingly came out of nowhere releasing new guitars that are compatible with Clone Hero. In a previous video, I shared what guitars you would need to play Clone Hero, but the ones Crack made easily beat the previous recommendations when it comes to compatibility and features. I recommend that you check them out, and you can support my channel by using code PEAK to save 5% on your order. And the best way to find new music is to ask your friends for recommendations. Pretty much what I'm showing in this video is my recommendations, and on my Discord server I've been dropping a ton of nostalgic songs on the music channel which you can join and look through. Something I wasn't able to take advantage of previously was games like AudioSurf, games that pretty much take your audio and make procedurally generated levels. I wasn't able to take advantage of that because I didn't really own a lot of music, but now that I have this library that I'm working on, I can go back and play some of these games that I never really got to take advantage of. To listen to your music, the best solution will be to use your smartphone as you already have one. But long term, I didn't want to use my phone as I use it to record my videos. You can use an old iPod or MP3 player, but those devices will have dead batteries and abysmally low storage capacities, and iPods need iTunes to drag music onto the device. I couldn't get my music to look nice no matter how many attempts I made, and most of these devices lack Bluetooth, which was important for my listening habits. If you do plan on using your iPods, I recommend getting a device like this. It's a Bluetooth receiver by YMod, and you just plug it into the bottom of your device and it works. But you have to check their website to see what devices are supported because Apple made a bunch of security measures on their later iPods that make stuff like this impossible to use. Another thing that I've seen become insanely popular is modded iPod classics. In concept, they're easy to mod but can quickly cost hundreds of dollars to get something feeling modern. If you do plan to use one, download Rockbox. It's a simple to install operating system that bypasses the need for iTunes and offers customizable UI. What I decided to go with was a modern MP3 player. I looked at a few options before landing on the Surfin's F20, and later I'll give you my thoughts on the F20 and if you should consider picking one up. There's a ton of creative ways to listen to your music, so have fun with it. While I enjoy collecting CDs, it doesn't seem like the rest of the world does, so I wanted to ask the owner of my local music shop if he's noticed a large influx of people buying CDs. Nice to meet you, Terry.
Nice to meet you too, Joey.
What do you think people are buying more of today? Is it the records, or are they buying like CDs more?
They're buying more records. A big increase in the sales of physical music has been with youth culture. We get a lot of teenagers in here. When Napster came around, we didn't get kids at all. Kids just shared files. We just saw a big decline in physical CD sales at that time. In 2007, 3 coalitions out there. I started the first coalition of independent music stores in 1995. It was independent record stores from non-competitive cities that would act as a support group, share ideas with each other. A store in Austin like Waterloo Records wouldn't feel bad about sharing ideas with a store in Portland, Oregon, or a store in Rochester, New York. 3 coalitions got together with this idea that Chris Brown from Bull Moose Records up in New England, why don't we have this special day like Comic Book Day?
Oh, wow.
And we started Record Store Day. We went to the industry and we asked the major labels and distributors if they would come up with compelling product on vinyl, which at that time, none of the majors made vinyl at all. We hired a national publicist. He told 2 stories. Record stores are still here because the media had been painting a picture that record stores were either gone or on their way out.
Yeah.
And the second part of that story was record stores carry records. Record stores went from 7,500 in the country in the year 2000 to 1,800 in 2007. From that first Record Store Day going forward, vinyl started taking an increase and growing and growing and growing. And what we saw, especially during COVID, a lot of teenagers started buying vinyl. What's interesting about the kids, not only are they buying vinyl, there's a certain amount of them that are getting into CDs right now. They'll come in the store and buy contemporary artists, but they're buying records from 40 or 50 years ago.
Oh, okay, because I would think it would just mainly just be the new stuff that they're interested in.
One of our biggest selling albums last year was Fleetwood Mac Rumor on vinyl, brand new. The bulk of the sales were to teenagers and 20-some-year-olds.
I know you'll probably be biased for this last question. I guess, are you more positive about streaming or the physical media side of the music industry?
There's more revenue brought into the music industry from streaming. You know, you can sell 200 pieces of vinyl, an artist can. They're gonna make more royalties than 500,000 streams. Physical media is good for the artist. I think there will always be streaming. Most of your music buyers are listening to streaming and then they're buying the physical piece on that. A lot of people are finding out and they would go to listen to particular artists or particular records, and some of those things aren't there anymore. They're wanting to have a physical piece that if that goes away, they have it. Especially the kids, the artists that they really care about, they want to have ownership in the artist.
Getting to talk with Terry helped me understand why people collect vinyl. I used to think that this was a hipster fad, but being able to collect a piece of music that then supports your music shops and favorite artists is great. After working on this video, I began to notice that most album releases get vinyl but rarely CDs, and I'm hoping that in the next few years that changes.
So I've had the Surfends F20 for about 5 months now, and I'm pretty impressed with what you can get in an MP3 player for roughly about $100. The battery life has lasted me on multiple car trips. I haven't actually charged this thing in over 3 weeks. This was super easy to navigate. It's like your storage systems on your PC, so you could just set up any way you want. When we would go to the beach, we would just play this, and it was almost like we were listening to music back then. You just pop a CD into your CD player, and then you're just listening to a CD front to back. My only gripe that I don't like about this is that you have to hit the power button. You have to hit the power button to wake it up, and for some people that might be a big issue. When I'm using this, I'm in my car most of the time, so I just put it in my dock and I just hit the power button when I need to. So it's not that big of a deal. I also like that this device recognized every image that I put on the albums. From Windows Media Player, every image that I put on the albums, this freaking device recognized that. I can't say the same for other iPods and media platforms, but Surfends F20, super amazing, honestly. You guys should probably get one of these.
There's a couple of factors that went into collecting CDs. I wanted something new to collect for, and CDs are cheap and practical to find at thrift stores, and since I was rarely finding cheap video game deals, I pivoted to finding music for bands that I like, which naturally helped me build a music collection. My current collection roughly has 100 thrifted CDs, clocking in around $200 in total cost, a fraction of what you would have paid retail 20 years ago. Then once Spotify started to raise their monthly subscription costs, I realized that I could get a CD ripper and back up my music to make my own music platform. But the biggest reason why I started to fully dive into collecting music was the disconnect from the world. Collecting CDs helped me broaden my range of music tastes, as I never thought I'd be collecting jazz CDs, and it forced me to start listening to whole albums. I don't randomly lose my music, and my collection doesn't have monthly subscription costs. Tons of great reasons to start collecting, and show me your CD collection on my Discord server, link in the description.